Heidi ho, everyone. Welcome aboard. It is Tuesday, the 9th of Feb. How did we get there? Pass. Just happened, didn't it? It's good to have you on board. Nice name, Gary. Changed. Heriting. I like it. Why not? I best get into this straight away so I don't stuff myself up like I did yesterday on the pound breakout trade. We got tipped in yesterday by the what do they call it? Hair of your chin or something like that, skin of your teeth, all those sorts of things. And I knew that was the case, but then I thought I closed the short and I didn't close the short, and all sorts of things went on. At the end of the day, we'll have to record that as a losing trade, although some brokers, my other one in particular, didn't trip the long in. It was just a mess, guys. Apologies for that. Let's hope it turns out a little bit clearer today in things to come. All right. If this candle, current 1 hour candle, does not take out the high of the previous bar or the low of the previous bar, then these will be the parameters around which I will trade this breakout. Now, the computer yesterday wasn't an outright winner because it didn't get tipped in. It was entry 3 pips above, so that didn't get tipped in unless you had really wide spreads. And it got the money, exit there. There was a little bit more available, obviously, down to the weekly pivot, and then it went long, a doji day for the pound, pretty much. I would be favouring shorts here today, initially, or at the end. That's the one thing you never know, because we've got an untested daily pivot, whether they go long before they go short or short before they go long. Great question, but that's exactly how I see that panning out at some stage. Not how we will trade it, of course, on this, the test version of the breakout trade. If you are here for the first time, welcome aboard, number one. Number two, we do this every day. We're trying to find I won't say foolproof way, there's no such thing, but a high probability trade of the first 1 hour candle of London session. To achieve that, what we're attempting to do is get the breakout of the previous 3 bars, this one, this one, this one. And we've also got a computer model running, or has been running, that suggests that we use 5 candles. It'll be exactly the same today, except the entries will differ. We're using the high of the bar rounded up to the nearest pip, and the low of the bar rounded down to the nearest pip, whereas the computer suggests that we should be going 3 pips above and 2 pips below. So if you want to follow that, happy days. Again, I say to you, if you are new, even if you're not new, just keep this in mind. This is not a proven system, so do not place any meaningful money on this. It is simply in test mode. I've got to keep saying that, guys, because I don't want you to get carried away with this. It's not there yet. In fact, it's a long way from being there yet. We need to add a few filters, and we will do that once we've studied the data. Currently, what we're doing is I'm taking first profit, half of the risk. So the risk today on the buy is one that currently, if this doesn't get taken out, the high doesn't get taken out, is what, 19 pips. So we use half of that 9 as our first take profit, which is there. We use double the risk in terms of pips for our second take profit, which is there. And of course, it's exactly the same going the other direction. So half of the risk we use as our TP1, and double the risk we use as our TP2. Now, what you take off at TP2 is entirely up to you, but it is mandatory for this experiment to take off half of your risk at TP1 and then move your stop loss, the equivalent amount of pips that you took at TP1, that same distance from your entry, therefore giving you a free trade. That's what that's all about. And that is pretty much straight out of my scrapbook, because that's exactly how I trade the small time frames. On which we got a good lesson yesterday, I think, from Euro Dollar, which was interesting. As some of you guys would know, Oh, there we go. Got to change the bars. Righto. So those entries and exits are valid. First one we'll put in the market. Again, very, very small risk here, guys. Micro lots, we're talking. And the sell stop is at 1.3768. It'll be different for the computer version. You can take 2 pips off that. And the stop loss will be 1.3787. Okay, so that one's sorted. Now TP1 on that, I'll put on the chart actually, but I'll do it after we get the long on. Because sure as God made little green apples, if I don't place this long, it will get triggered. Okay, buy stop as always. And the entry level is at 1.3787. And the stop loss is at 1.3768. If I had a preference, I'd want to go short, but anything can happen. As I said yesterday, we got taken in by the spreads on this one. On, what am I on? IFS. I should change this account, trade it on the other one. That would probably be a better idea. I think the spreads are a little bit better on Fusion. 83.5. The spreads currently are on pound US dollar 1.2. Let's say 2 pips. That's why we got taken in yesterday. It was only like 1.5 pips from entry or something. And we got snuck in by this, what did I say? Hair of our chinny chin chin, something like that. There are all sorts of things. You can see that we are in a range, so there's no question that that this will break out. But will it be this far? Who knows? It's anybody's guess. I'll not stay here. I'll monitor this elsewhere because this could go on for minutes or even half an hour or more before we get taken in. But I'll try and keep my eye on it, and I'm sure somebody will prompt me anyway if it does get triggered. I can't see the chat at the moment, and I need to be able to do that. It's really annoying when that happens. Chat. It's hidden somewhere. There it is. Okay, there's nobody chatting. Pedrillo L. Layson, to you as well. You must be a new person in the room. That's great. Good to have you, unless you've come in by a different name. As I said, we're trading a breakout here. It's an OCO trade, and it's one cancels the other, if you don't know what that means. If we get triggered on the long, we will delete the short, and if we get triggered on the short, we'll delete the long. Now, again, if you have just joined us and didn't hear my warning before, this is in test mode, and we don't have a system. We're not recommending this as a system as yet. We're simply trialing it. I'm going to put, they're the parameters on the screen that you see. I'm going to put the TP1 levels on the chart. So we've got a visual, and that's the first take profit on the buy. First take profit on the sell is pretty much there. So that's where we'll be looking to take our first profit. Second take profit on the sell is at 137.30, which is there. And second take profit on the buy is 138 something, 23. Just above where we are. Don't want to squeeze that up too much. Just squeeze that down a bit. I'll get the right one, you goose. There you go. Righto, so we await an entry, guys. I'll put that back to where it needs to be and go a little bit wider. That might help. No, it won't. Never mind, we've got a visual on it. All right, now a lot happening today because it is Tuesday. That means it is Crypto Day. And of course, we go to the GOAT. You name the GOAT. Why not? Why not? We'll call it, he's a GOAT, and about the GOAT. But yeah, look, just creating some amazing trades at the moment, some amazing results for a few people that have followed his advice, which is fantastic, and it's so nice to have that vibe around the place where there's just incredible results coming out of crypto land at the moment. And of course, Shukri will be along in around about 30 minutes from now to share his next pearl of wisdom. To me, in fact, I'm now a crypto owner. I bought Kusama today. I must admit, at an inflated price. I was supposed to buy it last week, right? But I couldn't get myself organized. And of course, it went up and I bought it at some inflated price. Whatever. I'm sure we'll get something out of that today as Shukri takes. And the whole purpose of this, guys, if you've got no idea what you're doing in the crypto world, as I don't, absolutely no idea. And that's why I've asked Shukri just to take us through maybe a step-by-step process of how you might get involved in cryptos and start your journey to the moon or Saturn or Pluto or wherever we're going next. I'm sure Shukri will tell us when he comes on in about half an hour. As I said, I'm going to leave that for now, and I'm going to go to yesterday, a couple of things we did yesterday. Dollar CAD, we placed an order on Dollar CAD long above this bar here, right? As you can clearly see, we never got even close to being triggered into that. And that's the whole idea with the slingshot. If we don't get triggered in, the chances are that momentum will continue, and that's exactly what's happened here. But we don't give up on that because this could well and truly still go long, and I believe it's got the potential to do that. But I think it's a crucial day today, if not today, maybe tomorrow, but certainly this week. And I'm going to point you towards the dollar index. And the reason I'm going to do that, those of you who know what the dollar index is, of course, it's the weighted relative, there you go, that's what I want, relative trading performance of the US dollar versus the major currencies, the 7 major currencies. And we pointed this out yesterday, if not last Thursday, that there was a lovely little confluence area sitting here around about that 90.50 mark. And that pretty much is where we're at. So that's why it's very, very interesting to me. If we can stay above this confluence area, say 90.50, we'll call it 90.50, then the potential for this to go long remains. However, if we close below here on a meaningful time frame, this is the daily chart I'm looking at. So let's call it the daily chart. If we close underneath here, then I'm back to being a dollar bear in a very, very big hurry. And I think this will give us a pretty decent reward this time round, because this is, you know, by all visual senses that I have in front of me, is a potential retracement that looks very uniform. There's probably a channel sitting there. I haven't even put that on the chart. But if this does break, then look out. I think the dollar is in SH1T big time once again. But of course, it could just as easily bounce off here. And that's why it's crucial right now where this level is, in my humble opinion, as to what happens next. So I'm not that keen to trade against it until it does give me that signal. And of course, that will happen on any number of charts. You know, most interesting to me yesterday was the euro dollar, as you know, if you're in the room. And we were looking for a short trading down to the daily pivot, but it didn't set up. And I'm actually so happy that this was the case, because I said at the time, you know, I've seen this chart, I've watched this chart so many, many times, and this was set up as a trap yesterday because we couldn't find a way in here. There was just no setup for us. And eventually there was no daily pivot test either, which is so interesting. how we got to that is through many years of just watching this chart and knowing when there's a setup and when there isn't. So there wasn't yesterday. Will there be today? Well, look, we've still got an untested daily and weekly pivot, and we've got a resistance level. So I'll be all over this like a shark on a mackerel if it does look like turning around. We've broken through of what really was only a potential channel, but that level there was interesting. I was considering that this may come down and retest the bottom of that channel, but I think the channel now has been broken and broken clearly. I want to see what happens if and when we come back here, but I think we're coming back today. So I think we're coming back to here, and I'm looking for any opportunity to trade that. We're already at DR2, so that's a no-go zone long for me. I think this is a potential short setup. We'll look for that in earnest coming up. Okay, no trigger on the pound US dollar, but we've triggered somebody into the room whose initials will remain Ash Bull forever. G'day, buddy. How you doing?
I'm all right, mate. Yeah, not too bad. I thought I had a trade for everybody, but I'm not sure if it's that safe. It was going to be a FTSE short, which I can show you the chart if you want me to do that now. But
sure, pound's not doing anything. I'll call you back if
yeah. Well, this is my my slight issue. The pound not doing anything, and potentially the FTSE not doing anything either. I wonder whether the short will be that safe. Let me just bring this screen up here. Here we go.
Jupiter, Simon. Why not? Why not?
What's that? What's going to Jupiter?
Oh, I was talking about Shukri coming up in about 24 minutes from now.
Oh yeah, we can talk to him about Pax Gold. Yeah, I want to speak to Shukri about Pax Gold, and I'm sure he'll have some other little gems. So here's the FTSE 100. You can see a little. It's a 15-minute chart. You can see a little head and shoulders pattern here, and I think trading it down to the weekly pivot is probably okay. You know, and I don't know whether there's enough room. The problem is you may need. Yeah, you might need the safety of the monthly pivot. It's possible that the daily pivot will be enough, but yeah, actually, you know what? I think that's tradable. I'm just going to put a trade on there, so a short on the FTSE 100. I'm just going to flip my my stops above this area here. And what I might do is just to see if I can maximize this to a degree. I'm going to put another order in down the bottom here at 65, maybe 6,500. And we'll see whether this is also something we can get in. Now, if I get triggered in at the low, then I'll just put the stops at break even. I don't love that first entry price, but yeah, there's probably enough cover with the daily pivot to get us down. You know, and even if that was the whole trade at 27, it's around about a 2-to-1 to that point. But I'm just going to see if I can maximize it a little bit. Now, let me see what the profit from there to there is going to be. So that's going to be 14. It's going to be about 20, isn't it? Yeah, it's almost another. It's about another half. So probably could get another half on there. So let's do a sell stop. The markets are just opened up a little bit soft, which is why I was a bit reticent to do so. But they are soft to negative, which does suggest that it might be there might be a little run to the downside. I don't expect too much here, so I'm going to enter that second one at 65s, and it's really half again. Might stop at the neckline, but what I'll do is if this one does trigger in, I'll move the first stop to break even. And in fact, I'll probably move both those stops to break even if that does trigger in. Now I'll move this stop up here. Oops. Why did that not let me do? Oh, it's because it's not triggered. All right, I'll wait. Yeah, but that's all I got really, mate. I mean, it's markets are just a little bit soft, but you know, just looking at it, it does appear that it's more likely to go down than up for a period. Now let's just have a look at why this weekly pivot is targetable. And if we bring in the daily, you can see that it's not going to give us that much. Let me just bring in this clean chart here.
You'd be struggling for drivers this week, wouldn't you? There's no news about.
No, there's not. No, you're absolutely right. No. Now, where was that weekly pivot? I think it was down. What was it? It was 40, 50 down to that point. Yes, it's that low down there. So yeah, just coming down and checking that low, I think is achievable. There we go. That's all I really want, just to come and see if it will just come and test this low and then bounce. So profit taking is going to be at 64.60. Now it could come down a bit further, but I just think these markets are a little bit soft. And as you say, mate, there's just no drivers to really kind of drive the price action significantly lower. So I'm just really playing a range, just seeing if we do have some kind of intraday range from this point to this point. Yes, it could come down to there, but that's just not the game I'm going to play. It's possible as well that there's another one. Why are all my trend lines so dark?
Is this a long covering play also, mate, or that's not consideration?
It's not. No, it's not a long covering play. In actual fact, so the long that you're sort of talking about is on a different account. But now you mention that, yeah, I might take a long covering play. All right, let me do that. Thanks for reminding me. So sell that there.
Trading buddies, see.
Yes. Let me just bring that in here as well. Goodness me. Sell that there. Yeah. Yeah. So with a long covering play, I will be trading it slightly differently because I don't need to worry about stops. So I'll show you that one as well. I mean, it probably won't be of massive interest to people, but in fact, it's not going to be of any interest to anybody because I'm presuming nobody else is long on the FTSE from a lower price. If they are, let me know. But yeah, I mean, it is just a long covering play. I suppose maybe for educational purposes. I don't know whether it's worth mentioning, but
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
It's entirely possible that people could be in this because this was taken pre-Christmas, wasn't it?
Yeah. So this is the other trade on the FTSE that I've got on here. I've got a long down here, which we're up around about 930 points or whatever. But the idea is I can short as many times as I like because it's covered, and I just take little bites out of it. And actually, when you look at this might be played differently. I might well hold this one to that point there instead, and just see if there's a little bit to play. But really, I want the long on the FTSE. I want to add to the upside instead of worrying about the downside. But yeah, it's just a different idea. It is really just a different idea, that one. Oh, let me just bring this in for you guys so you can see it. So there's a long play down here. Let me see if I can make this a bit wider. There you go. So we've got a long play down here, and at this point it can be shorted. Now it's probably worth shorting the FTSE anyway because there is this trend line that's going on here that has been rejected. Potential head and shoulders pattern as well. There is seasonal evidence to suggest the FTSE could be entering a bit of downside as well. So I can start covering the short on this one. Covering the long on this one. And just leave it because if it pops up, it's covered, and it just means that if it pops up and keeps going, I'll probably enter a new long and close this position. So the profit is the 900 pips in the end. But I'm hoping that won't happen. I'm hoping I can just take some small chunks out of it. And that's my favorite. That's my favorite play is to try and get a longer term move in the market, and then just seeing if there's any small chunks that I can take out of it while trading in the opposite direction. But back to this one. I think this is the one we should probably focus on. It may or may not work out because the thing is with it is, as I say, the FTSE is quite benign. There's not really any drivers in the market. I'm just looking at the top market cap. Unilever's slightly down. Some of those oil companies are actually starting to do quite well, but BP has finally started to pick up. Royal Dutch Shell's picking up as well. So the oil companies and the energy stocks are just starting to kind of move to the upside. HSBC as well, I think, interesting because the banks are starting to do well. So we've got finance starting to pick up the pace a bit. We've got oil and energy starting to pick up the pace a little bit. And they're really, a couple of the really big players in the FTSE 100. Industrial metals and personal care group Unilever are the other kind of notable ones. And obviously the likes of AstraZeneca and GlaxoSmithKline as the pharmaceuticals. They're the other really kind of important companies that tend to be, they're the ones that we're going to put the more weight on. But it is just a bit benign, mate. There's just not much movement. So it's just kind of like saying, okay, well, it's a bit of a flip of a coin, but it looks like this has got just as much chance to come down here than go, too much higher. Now, obviously, with the stops at the pivot, we should be covered, because if it does pop through that area, the risk to reward is just not there. So it's well worth kind of using that as a short-term play. Let's just have a look at it. Yeah, it looks all right so far, doesn't it? On the 15. Yeah, I would have been quite happy to enter there. I mean, if anybody's not in this is a great entry price now. Much better. Now, let me just see. I'm just seeing whether I can enter again here and just remove this one. Yeah, probably could. I'm just going to take that one there, mate. And the only reason I'm doing that is that it doesn't cost a lot because the stops are tight on that one. And then what I'll do is I'll if it comes down, I'll remove this one because I don't love the price so much on that one. But yeah, this is a much better entry. So FTSE 100 shorts and stops. I can write this up if you like. But it is a 50-50 in many respects, which is why, a good price does help. 50-50, but aiming for a 2-to-1 on the lower one. But if you've managed to get in here, you're really aiming for what looks like 16s. Yeah, it looks like a 3-to-1. So as I say, yeah, it's a 50-50 trade there, but you're aiming for a 3-to-1. That looks pretty good to me. Let's write this up. I'm going to write up this price because this is the price that you guys should be able to get now. So it is a FTSE. FTSE 100, and it's a short. This is also known as the UK 100. UK 100, if you like, that should be on yours. That's a short, and it's around about the 65.28, we'll say, 65.28. Stop loss at, looks like 65.45. And it's going to be a take profit all for me. Down at this point, which is about 64, looks like 80. Just double check it. Sorry, 64.70. And we will see what we get, mate, from that.
All right, bud.
If you're in the first one and you manage to get in the second one, if you're not in the second one, just leave it go. But I'm going to take this one off. Just set a little take profit just below it. Yeah, I'm gonna get out on that one because I don't really want two positions like that. And this one doesn't really kind of meet quite the safe entry. This one's a lot safer because it's pretty much on resistance, this one. So if it pops through that area, then there's a chance to get out of this one. That's the other reason I like taking these highs, that you might not even need it to hit the stop. If it closes above that level and it starts to look like it's coming down, retracing and covering that area, testing that area, then that one can come off if it holds that area. Now, the other thing I want to talk about, mate, is gold. Especially with Shukri coming in. Gold has had a really good pickup. I mean, everybody knows about Bitcoin, what's going on with Bitcoin. I'm finding Bitcoin incredibly concerning, I have to say. I've got a friend that is all out buying Bitcoin, and he really does know what he's doing. So he's not really bothered if Bitcoin does start to tank. He's got a really longer term view on it, and I've got no doubt that Bitcoin will go beyond this 50,000 level or 47,000 level that it is now. And if you've got the wherewithal to hold it right through that period where if it comes down.
What was that number again? 330,000.
To get to?
Yeah, was that the forecast?
I don't know, mate. But do you know? Yeah. I mean,
Citibank 315, but if you go to the stock to flow model, it's only about 105. It's only about 105,000.
It's amazing, mate. It's amazing. And do you know what? I've got no doubt it will get there. My issue right now with Bitcoin is every man and his dog knows about it, and every man and his dog's getting in, and that's always the most worrying point. It's not that I don't believe in Bitcoin. I just don't like. I don't like the price in comparison to the frenzy and the hype that seems to be going around it right now. It's kind of the old adage that as soon as the shoeshine boy is telling you about something, then it's time to get out, or the taxi driver, it's time to get out, and everybody's trading Bitcoin.
This time it's different, Ash.
This time it's different. Yeah, well, maybe it is. I don't know, but
we don't know. That's exactly right. We don't know.
Yeah, I'm just not keen at these prices. But the one that I think is
Shukri's game instead of the.
Oh, I like Shukri's game a lot better.
What game they want to play? Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot better. I think it's a lot more measured, and it's professional. I just don't think it'd be professional to start buying Bitcoin at these levels, personally. But unless you're willing to hold through, completely different story. If it's a protection of your wealth, not a problem with that at all. I think it should be bought up. But I want to talk about gold, mate, because gold has carved out this low down here. Now, I don't know whether that's going to hold, but it is looking a lot more attractive. I've still got an issue with where it held, but I don't mind now if gold gives me some kind of indication at these levels. I don't mind now starting to kind of get into it. I couldn't just buy at the low here because the only thing that I could see holding it up was this one down here. Now that held really nicely, but one more dip and I'm interested in gold. I'll be all over it now. From here on in, I'm all over it because it's only going to be a $45 drop from that point to the trend line that I think is likely to be the holding point. Now, the other thing with gold is that it looks like it has potentially started a short-term trend here as well. So if this continues to hold, now what I'd like is for gold to come down. I'd like the daily pivot just a little bit lower and to start meeting this trend line. And that's another possible place that I don't mind putting a little bit on. But I want to trade it with Pax Gold, Shukri, or I noticed the other day that the Royal Mint are offering DigiGold. What do you think about that?
That's new.
That's new. Any good? Do you think? I mean, do you know what? Their website is an absolute beast. You can. I joined it, tried to get back into it yesterday, and I just can't get back in. They keep telling me to reset my password, which I do, and then I can't get back in. So their website is just rubbish, to kind of get. But Pax Gold, I'm interested, mate. And the reason I want Pax Gold, I mean, I would buy a gold mining company. Yeah. iShares, Lloyd was telling me about iShares, MSCI Global Gold mining stocks. My problem with it is that that's in dollars, and I don't like dollar-denominated assets while I'm in the UK because it's going to be dependent on currency changes as well, which puts me off a little bit, not massively, but enough, Or I could go and buy some mining stocks in the UK, Polymetal, Fresnillo, Centamin, Capital Drilling. I could get a basket of them myself. But again, problem with those is one of them has some kind of problem with a mine and they could be tanking to the downside. So I want exposure to gold where I can make some kind of dividend. Is there anything that I can buy, Pax Gold possibly, where I can then go and stake things out. Now, I haven't seen with Pax Gold you can stake yet, but is there anything I can do that with?
I only know Pax Gold. Probably there are others, but I don't know how to vouch for their, whether they're going to be long, whether they're going to still be there.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it?
And the other thing is some things like the gold miners. You know that there are also gold miners in crypto. One of them is Goldfinex.
Okay.
So they started last year. They started selling their token last year, but these are not going to the moon one, guys. Okay, these are like truly gold. And at that time, I still remember when they started out selling their tokens, gold was at 1,300. Now gold is at 1,900, which is what the way Pax would do. But Goldfinex did a double, so which is good. Guys, don't expect 10x. Okay, gold doesn't go 10x.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not really looking for that. I'm looking for a bit of a store of money.
Yeah.
But I'd love to make some sort of kickback, and that's the issue, isn't it, with gold? Whenever you buy gold, you don't get any kickback, which is why people go to the miners or go to some ETFs or whatever.
Yeah, and you have to pay for storage.
Say that again, sorry.
You have to pay for storage if you buy physical, but Pax is linked to physical, and they keep it for you.
Well, this is the thing with DigiGold. Same thing is that they keep it for you. You know, it's just but what I like about DigiGold is it's offered by the Royal Mint, so they've actually got the gold.
I see. DigiGold.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pedrillo, you need an answer to your question. What was the lot size on the FTSE, Ash?
Oh God, whatever you want it to be. I mean, it's you have to do it depending on your accounts. Who asked that?
Pedrillo.
Okay, so I'm guessing it's because maybe you've not traded the FTSE before. Now, with the FTSE, let's bring that back on again.
Cancel the buy on. I've cancelled the buy on the pound. We are short the pound.
Okay, mate, but better take some of those numbers down. So when you look at this on the FTSE, so this is the way to test out how much it's going to cost you, if you like. Pick a number in space. Let's say 65.90. Okay, we're going to go 65.90, and I'm going to go sell limit there. Doesn't matter the direction, and you can do this with any of your currencies to see what they're going to cost you. 65.90. Now the thing with indices is that one lot isn't $10. One standard lot isn't $10 like it is with the the currencies, but with this one it is. So if you pick a number, so 65.90 puts me well out of the way. And now if I go to, let's go to 66.90 for my stop loss. 66.90. And just place that in there. Now, what I can see here is the two lines. Now, if I hit my Alt key, I can now grab this thing, and I can see on the left-hand side that 100 pips would cost me $139. So now you know that each pip is $13 if at one lot. So if each pip is $13 at one lot, that means that a mini lot is going to cost you $1.30. For if you do a 0.1 is $1.30. So you have to work out what your risk of your account is. I can't tell you what the lot size is because I don't know what size your account is. Does that make sense, Pedrillo? No problem. Yeah. So you just have to see. Effectively, it's 1.30. If you put in 0.1, it's going to cost you $1.30 per pip, and a pip is going to be from 65.32 to 65.33. So we're forgetting the decimal place, if you like. It's these two. We're interested in going from 65.32 to 65.33. So if it goes up a pip, then it costs you $1.30. Okay. Okay. So
just before you go on, there was a trade I was going to give you guys whilst you were placing the FTSE trade. I'll just share it with you, but it's probably too late. And it may not be if it comes back, right? We're trading a false break of this trade line, which is this bar here. So you want to buy it at the top of that bar. You want to put your stop loss under here, right? If it comes back and gives us a second opportunity to get in, then I'll probably take that again. The level of your entry should have been 127.33, which is pretty close to where we are at the moment. I just don't go in at market. I never do. So I'll wait for that. If it comes back here and gives me a second opportunity, then I'll place that order. Your target's pretty clear. Just get out here. It's all over at 127.48. Or if you think this can reverse, which of course it can, then you could leave something open to trade it back to here for a second take profit and maybe here for a third take profit. I'm not a massive fan of that, but when I'm trading on small time frames, I want to hit resistance levels and just take my profit. So that's what I'll be doing. I'll be all out here around about the monthly pivot level if I get in, and I'll call you in if I do. But those are the levels I'll be looking at. The pound, we're short, but not a whole lot happening here, I've got to say. Look, there are a couple of other things coming up, but it can wait till the top of the hour now. Euro dollar with a retest here of that breakout level becomes a short, as we were talking about before. There's a whole stack of stuff going on here, guys. We've come back into the range here looking for a lower high on that one. Aussie CAD's exactly the same. If we get under here and retest it, we'll be going short. There's a whole lot of stuff I want to talk about, but crypto moon time.
One moment,
the Scatman's in, or the goat's in.
Yeah, let me give me another 5 minutes. I need to apply for an IPO here. It's hard being a goat. Okay, it's hard.
Did you talking to goats? Obviously, you watched the Super Bowl, Jeff.
Yes, mate. Yes.
So we had some. I thought it was really funny.
And we definitely saw a goat in action. There's no question. That was a masterclass.
Oh, do you know what? I mean, this is the thing about the two of them, because Patrick Mahomes, I actually thought played really well, but the rest of his team just didn't. The ball just was not sticking to their hands.
That's right.
But do you see what I mean about him? He's really good at improvising, because he can be falling over and still produce an amazing throw.
That throw where he was horizontal, man.
Yeah,
and he let it go, and it hit the mark. And that guy just that would have been the greatest touchdown I've ever seen. I mean, he does that stuff week in, week out. He's a fantastic watch. Patrick never seen him before.
Oh, he's brilliant. But as you say, mate, when it comes down to it, you got kind of almost completely contrasting styles, because you got Patrick Mahomes, which makes something out of nothing, and he's constantly scrambling. And then you got Tom Brady, Tom Brady's real gift is being able to read the defense like that. You can see them set up. He's seen so many of them that he can change the play just before they're about to snap it. And inevitably he finds his man, but completely contrasting.
70+%, I think he hit, didn't he?
Oh, he was quite amazing.
I'm guessing Mahomes is generally around about the 50% mark, because he's high reward, high risk, I would have thought.
No, do you know what? He's not. Usually his receivers are a lot better than they were on the Super Bowl, because they weren't. I mean, Kelsey dropped quite a few balls, and I
think they were nervous. They
probably were, but and also it was in Tampa Bay, so they, in the Bucs' backyard. So I wonder if that had a little bit.
There were far more cardboard cutouts there than there would have been.
There was. There was.
Anyway,
but,
we better not talk about it too long, I suppose.
Well, we've got to talk about it for 5 minutes, because Shukri's not ready.
Oh, that's right. 5 minutes, wasn't it? He's just launched himself into another moon.
Yeah.
All right, I tell you what then.
Okay, let me submit. I press submit. There it is, and confirm.
Cheers, Pedrillo. Nice to have you in. Catch you next time.
Yeah. Speak to you soon, buddy. So just then on the markets, mate. Very, very quiet week. I think Jerome Powell's speaking tomorrow, suggests that we probably are in a bit of a range with many of these, and if you're long on something that was trending, it's one of those weeks that you just hold on to it, isn't it? You don't really do anything. You probably don't initiate any long-term position on a week like this week. You just kind of just stay where you are. CPIs from America, I think, are going to be the number of the week. There are some numbers from the UK also of interest, and the UK, the optimism is starting to build with this vaccine rollout. but it can't really mask the big issues, which is certainly about debt, and it's definitely about this trade that's going on with the EU. You know, I'm not sure whether that's going to end up being too positive. Now Aussie CAD, I wouldn't have minded buying that.
It may be there in a minute.
Yeah, it might well be. I might have to wait to the top of the hour. Let me just check. Where's this going?
I only had to come back down here on Monday, and it was a trade.
Let's see, mate. Where are you, Aussie CAD?
Amazingly, there's a whole lot going on. For me.
Yeah, I haven't got Aussie CAD just yet.
Okay, I am done.
Alrighty, what up, mate?
Let's go, man. Let's start. Give me the power for the screen. Okay, share the screen.
Yes, Darth. No problem, Darth.
Okay, yeah, there it is, guys. So the big news is there. Tesla last night. Okay, so again, to remind you in crypto, I'm going to talk more about this on Monday. This has serious implications, but just to remind you guys today, there are two people in crypto. One is Lord Elon, and here's the other guy. This is the junior guy. Okay, this is the junior guy. And this is his day. So this is not a coincidence. I think the stars were planning on this, you know, Tesla going into Bitcoin.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. And then Jeff going one day later. And yeah, it's pumping. And yeah, I am, even Ethereum is near 1.8. But just to again continue, you know, I'm starting to let go of positions slowly again. And just to reiterate, because for you guys that were there that day in the trading retreat, again, I told you guys, you know, I stacked some coins, right? I stacked a lot of Ethereum into this account. They had gone multiple times at that time, but then by the time I converted them into Ethereum, it was 69K US. And I think during the period of this trading retreat, you guys saw it, like it was like 92, sometimes it was 89. You know, KUS, and today I think I am at 120. So this was only 3 weeks ago. So it's like 3 weeks, you make 50K. And when 3 weeks you make 50K, guys, you don't go out and party. You're kind of concerned. You have to say that if I want to party, I have to get out first. Okay, don't go party first. So that's it. That's how you stack the things up. You know, when you stack the things and then you just write it up. And this is what happens. I couldn't stack the other Bitcoin account. I didn't think that Bitcoin would go up this week. I thought it was next week, but hey, can't win them all, right? So sometimes we're early, sometimes we're late. But again, let's look what's happening today, because today is Kusama Day. And let's talk about Kusama, okay, the one that Jeff has bought.
Yep.
First, you look at that. That's
I've got no idea why I bought it. The only reason I bought it is because you told me to, right?
Yes, correct. This has gone up. And this has gone up also. Now let's look more at Kusama. This is the cousin of Polkadot, okay? And I'll tell you something more about crypto today, which is another side of crypto, which I've always said is kind of the side that you guys don't know, because there are many ways to make money in crypto. Again, I'll show you another way today. So again, you look at Kusama here. This is like Jeff's pattern. Look at that. There's a range.
Yes, love it.
There's a range.
Lovely retest and the way it went.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, it went here and then it retested, flipped this resistance to support. Off it went. Look at it again. There. Yeah, it likes to go in ranges. And that's really what cryptos are all about. So one thing you want to know about Kusama, it's really the little brother of Polkadot. The logo is a canary, okay? It's actually the canary network of Polkadot. So Jeff, you're in a mining town. So they say it's a canary because they send in a canary in the coal mines first to go in and see what's happening in the coal mine.
Mm-hmm.
Is the canary what happens to the canary? Is it supposed to die, or is it supposed to be half breath, or is it supposed to be struggling after it comes out of coal mine? How do you determine?
Well, it's supposed to stay alive to keep the miners down there. If it dies, it's time to get out, right?
I see. Okay.
That's why it's there.
Okay, so you bring down the bird into the mine.
Yes, and if it survives, if it lives, you stay down there mining. If it dies, time to go. Get out of there. Because it's all about the air.
Okay, so remember that, guys, because it's very simple. Because before they put things onto Polkadot, they put things into Kusama so that you don't have problems now like Ethereum. Like Ethereum is so expensive to transact nowadays, you know. It's not possible to have a wallets class. It's very hard. It's even very hard to transfer the thing around because sometimes now it's not worth it, especially if you go to Ethereum. You have to transfer it to another standard. You know, that's unfortunately the way we are. But look at this, guys. Now, if you guys want to have tattoos, so we're going to change from cryptos to tattoos. Okay, look at this. There is now, see, Kusama has a really strong following. Look, the Kusama Human Blockchain Party. If you get a Kusama tattoo, last time they gave you like 3,000. So here's the deal. Like, if I have a girlfriend, I got to check her out. Hey, do you have enough space for another tattoo there? We can put in a Kusama tattoo and look.
My godfathers.
No, so guys,
is this for real?
This is real. In crypto, you do not really have to trade. There are so many ways to make money. Look, a blockchain fraternity, 3,000 bucks if they get a tattoo representing Kusama is an experimental version of the blockchain. And the money comes from Kusama into this, Kappa Sigma Mu. Guys, take this down, Kappa Sigma Mu. You don't have to tell anyone, okay? But please tell your girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or wife, okay? Don't get me into trouble. It's called the Kusama fraternity, Kappa Sigma Mu. I mean, this is like this is better than.
Is this better than my cards that I'm designing? Is this better than the cards that I'm designing? Or what?
Yeah, the cards are better. The cards are better. They have that too, you know. So this is amazing, right? So this is what Jeff was saying, and I'm going to show you that other part of that card. Yeah, they have card too. Look at that. So this is fraternity, and yeah, you need to have this. I don't know where you want to put it in your body. I guess that's up to you, but check with them first, okay? If you guys,
you know, the really, I shouldn't go here, but I can't resist it. No, I can't go there. I can't go there.
You can't go there, right?
I'll put it. I'll use your imagination, right?
Yeah, guys.
Part of your body, you can only see K and A, right?
Yeah, see, look at that, guy, Kusama Network, okay? So again, Kappa Sigma Mu, there it is, guys. I gave this to you. This is the Kusama guide, okay?
So I've got to do this. I've got to do this, right?
Huh?
I've got to do this, have I? This
No,
is part of my education.
These are for the people who didn't get the stimulus check.
Well, I didn't get a stimulus check.
You know, if you're over the threshold, right, for the US guys that didn't get the stimulus check. So what we are doing is this, okay? This is the start of the process of where, you know, you have Kusama. Okay, okay, let's go to this. So Kusama was also designed by Gavin Wood, the same guy who designed Polkadot, okay? And look at this, expect chaos. It's meant to be totally experimental. They didn't even audit the code, okay? It's an audited, unrefined release of Polkadot. So they do a lot of experiments here, okay? And then look at this. It's a canary net, early, highly experimental. Now, in Polkadot, they do serious R&D, risk and danger. No, that's research and development. But Kusama is risk and danger. So the true Kusamian, or whatever it's called, has a tattoo. Okay, has a tattoo.
So I'm a super conservative dude, 64 years of age, and you put me into a high risk bloody. What are you doing to me?
I will tell you why. I'll tell you why. See, because at the end of the day, before the real projects in Polkadot come out, what happens? They go into Kusama first. See that? Why the bird? Why the bird? Expect a lot of chaos. Okay. So it's done. It's done here. So this is how the Polkadot ecosystem works. Let me see. Yeah, this is Moonbeam and Polkadot here. So let me see this moonbeam.com, right? So one of the projects that's going into Polkadot is actually called Moonbeam. And let's see how they do this, okay? But first, look at this. Jeff, look at this. The Moonbeam Polka Pet. You see, they even have polka pets like this.
So is that, hang on, you see, it goes too fast. Is that the tattoo I've got to put on my body?
No. This is not the tattoo. It's just that every single project have all these nice little characters now.
So actually, we're going back to the 80s where there were collector cards, right?
Yes,
this is
correct.
the digital version.
Yes, correct. That's why when we go into all this, how come I can't see this? Maybe it's taking too long to learn. Oh no, Zoom again. So this is what I'm telling you guys, that when you go into crypto,
Cute.
it's not only about trading. It's not only about trading. It's about other things too. Like you can have a tattoo, you can have this, or for Kusama, it's very different. This is what we're gonna do. Again, this is not a moon thing. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, this is a long-term investment. And this is what—
Now you're talking me.
Yes,
right?
This is what people do. And the guy, and let me tell you a story. The guy who does this the best is someone in class called Brian, right? So this is what Brian does. He bought something called Luna. Okay, he bought something called Luna. He stakes it. And that was like, I don't know, 3-4 months ago, right? 3-4 months ago, he stakes it. And then he gets a reward coin, okay? He gets something like a reward, because when you put it, it's like a fixed deposit. You want a reward. Now he is unstaking it. That means he gets back his Luna. Because Jeff, you will also get back your Kusama. Guess what? From here to here, in a matter of 3 months, but this thing pumped today, this Luna has gone 10 times. Not 10%, not 100%, 10 times. In percentage terms, that is 1,000%, I think. I'm not sure myself. Is it?
Well, that'll do me. The maths work for me, yeah.
That's right. So these are things like staking, where you really don't worry if there might be a loss in value in this in the beginning, but it's okay, because your rewards will cover for your quote unquote. It's not losses, it's drawdowns, right? It's drawdowns. That's how we do it. So we have to think about drawdowns. Anyway, this is Moonbeam. So look at this. Now, Moonbeam is a project that is on Polkadot. When you see a big project going on to Polkadot is Moonbeam, such as Moonbeam, guess what? They will want to experiment with things first, okay? They want to do experiments first because they are a very reputable company, these guys. So when you look at tokens here, look, there are two, Glimmer and River. Now, Glimmer is the main token, the main one on Polkadot, okay? That is research and development, okay? The experimental one, which is run on Kusama, is called River. So, people who go to Moonbeam can get 2 tokens. This is very different. This is interesting, right? That means when you go into a project, you can get double. You can participate and stake double, and get rewarded twice, not once. This is the difference of crypto today than before. And the important thing about all this Kusama thing, do I have a picture here? Ooh, do I have a picture? Yeah, let's see Polkadot technology here. Very important. It is like a spaceship. Now, this is Polkadot. See, this is the main Polkadot now. All these are like a parachains. They connect to the main Polkadot chain. But you guys have to remember, because in Polkadot, there are only 100. Which is why when people come in, and this is why Kusama is important. Kusama has more. So Kusama, they put it in Kusama first, and it's cheaper to put it in Kusama, which is why you see Kusama going up, right? If you don't have enough money or can't raise enough money to go into Polkadot, you put it up in Kusama first. And the first change for Kusama, I think, would be around this month, followed by Polkadot later, March or April. That's the way you do it. So let's see how Moonbeam does it. So we'll go on Moonbeam more next week so that you understand what you're getting yourself into, so that you guys can also do this. Remember, we're not interested in Kusama here. We don't care whether it goes up or down. We really don't. We want to take this out of the equation, whether it goes up or down. Maybe
You've just got to own it, right?
Huh? Yeah,
You've just got to own it.
Maybe we just want to own it. One day when we get it, maybe it becomes a 10x like Brian. Maybe it becomes a 1x. Maybe it becomes a 0.5x. It really doesn't matter, because we're getting rewards along the way. We're getting a lot of rewards along the way. So let's see.
So let's bring that back to something that people, me, would understand, right? So you're investing let's say, let's bring it back to the stock market. You're
Yeah.
investing in a company that's going to pay you dividends, right?
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
all you need to
correct.
know right now. And the company, it's very, very difficult to know its intrinsic value, of course, but
Yes.
that's the risk you're taking.
That's
I
the
guess.
risk, but it's even better than that. You know why? Okay, I will add this. So you're buying Kusama, which is a company on the stock market. The dividend is called River, right?
Yep.
Not only that, look, after a certain period of time, you get this back. Okay, but you have to commit. You have to commit. It's like marriage, and you just can't get out of the marriage. You
Geez,
have
I've had a couple of those already. How many more do you want me to do?
commitment. Commitment. So yeah, it's just like that. It's just like a stock, but you have it in River. And if Moonbeam does very well, then River will do very well, and also Glimmer. But Glimmer is the main one. So very, very key. You don't lose it. Yeah, it's just like your stock. It is just like the old economy. And this is good because this allows people from the old economy who might not understand cryptos, and cryptos is not easy to understand. Okay, I mean, you will bust your head trying to understand it for the first 1 or 2 months. But once you get it, you get it. But you know, it's not an easy process. Okay, but this is easier, right? You have a stock, you get a dividend, you have to commit a certain time to do it, and then your stock is always yours, and you can sell it after that. So okay, so let's go.
How do we know that time?
They tell you. Here it is. What would be the reckon? That's why I'm waiting for this. So let's talk about Moonbeam more next week. See, for Moon River, there will be a Kusama crowd loan. Remember? So you are loaning your Kusama to Moonbeam so that they are able to bid for the parachain, the Kusama parachain, right? And that is planned at the end of the quarter, which is March. Now, this is Glimmer. The main token is different. It's a sale. Okay? So crowd loan, technically, you will be inclined to lock your Kusama for a set period of time and get Moon River tokens in return. After the period of time ends, you get your Kusama back. Estimates up to 2 years for locking. Okay? Now, the public sale is different because you have to bid. It's not easy to get. But this can. Because you will get rewards, but you know, it'll be a cash flow thing. So you'll get like dividends over 2 years, then you take out your Kusama back. And that's how they do it. And I think this is really the genius of Polkadot, because this is what happened. Okay, so then you might ask, hey, I just loaned this to Moonbeam. So I put this to Moonbeam for the crowd loan. What if Moonbeam fails to get it? No worries, Jeff, you get your Kusama back.
Mm-hmm.
You'll still be happy. You'll still be happy, right? And that's what happened. So again, this is what you call the canary network for Polkadot. So we have to call. So Simon now, you know, Simon and Henry now are on the way to Jupiter because now they want to find the next canary network. Yep. It's an easy way to make money, you know, because if you know that a big blockchain is going to launch, what is the easiest way to make money? You put your money in the canary network at the earliest stage. Because once upon a time, guys, Kusama was only $1 to $4. That's it.
Now you tell me. I just paid 100.
No, let's look at this. Right? Let's look at this. Let's look at that. Let's look at Kusama, right? So yeah, that's why our two brave astronauts, which is Simon and Henry, are on the way to Jupiter already. You know, they have to find the next bird. They have to find the next canary there. Okay. So Kusama now is $132. You can go to CoinGecko. Okay, just go to CoinGecko and then you go down here and then you just put chart. Yeah, it is chart, right? So I'm gonna go max. Let's see max. So you know, so always like this. Right? Look at that. What was it before? Look at this. In October 2019, it's only $4. And now look at it now, because as the use case builds, then people need to buy Kusama. And for people who want to get in exciting projects like Moonbeam, guess what? They have to buy Kusama and they have to lock it. So, you know, if you see a token going up, the most important thing you need to do is ask why. There must be an economic reason why. Well, sometimes there's none, like Dogecoin, like Dogecoin, because Elon Musk says it. Well, that's fine, you know. But if you want to be for the long term, always ask why. Any questions, people? Any questions?
Any effing questions? You know what? This is just unbelievable, Shukri. I just cannot get my head around it. And here's the next question I'm going to ask you. And I'm not sure this is for public knowledge, is it? Stop me very quickly if I'm running into trouble, right?
Sure.
You have an option for people who don't understand it, right?
Yeah, I do. There are.
Is that okay for me to mention that or not?
Yeah. I do. There are proper classes. We are arranging it. We've agreed with Paul yesterday, so I need to draw it properly and do the proper scheduling. Yes. Yeah, but what?
Okay, that wasn't what I was talking about. I was talking about something we had a meeting about. When was that? Last Sunday, Monday?
Oh no, I don't think that's open to everyone, Jeff.
That's not public. No.
Okay, that's not. Oh yeah, that's not public. Yeah.
I better go anyway, guys. The FTSE's been stopped out, and I don't think I'm going to play it for the rest of the day. I think I'll leave it for the day. It looks a bit choppy, and you know, it was a 50-50, and it has gone against us. It might still come down to that price, but I think I'm going to leave it be now today, and just see if there's another opportunity tomorrow instead, or maybe in the US session.
Okay, Angel asked a question. Yes, you can buy Kusama on Binance, just as long as it's Kusama. But please don't buy the futures, okay? Don't buy the futures. You got to buy the real one. Don't.
All right, mate, you go.
All right, see you soon, guys.
See you, mate. Have a good one. Catch you tomorrow. So, Shukri, getting back to that point, you will teach people how to do that via your own shows.
Here's the most basic, guys. But again, when you are here with Jeff here, remember, this is not planned to moon. I don't know. The moon thing is totally different. This is planned to be safe. If it
this is for old conservative fellas like me.
If it happens like Brian and it goes 10x, I attribute it to luck. Please attribute it to luck. That's it. It may or may not happen. Yeah, because what we're looking now is getting on Moon River. What we're looking at is for Moonbeam to do very well, because Moonbeam is basically, bringing in Ethereum applications to Polkadot, and that's cool. And one more thing that you guys need to know, that when I'm doing this, it is also in the capacity that I am a Moonbeam ambassador. So that means I kind of know what I'm talking about, which is very important. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why they need to be educated. You just can't. I can't soak that in any way, shape, or form. It's just beyond me completely.
Yeah.
So maybe I just need to keep coming to your cast, mate, your broadcast.
Yeah, because
where do I find time for this?
Yeah, you have to understand, guys. There's always something fundamental going on. If you want to be long in crypto, and I think you should be long in crypto, because after the Elon Musk purchase yesterday, they were talking a lot about CNBC. At CNBC, they said this is just the beginning of the conversion of the internet to cryptocurrencies. Now, you have to understand that has nothing to do with price, okay? Prices can go up or down. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. But this is going to happen. Now, look, and I'm talking about, yes, there's a bull run and there's a super bull run, but look what happened at the NASDAQ in 1999, 2000. But look at what happened at the internet. And this is the same thing. Please take away the prices in this discussion. It's not relevant.
Yeah, 100%. That's perfect advice, because people are going to get carried away by what they've heard has happened to certain instruments over the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and think that's going to happen every single day. It's not going to happen every single day. It's not going to happen every single week. It's something, and that leads me to another question, Shukri, I suppose. How long do you think, and I mean, how long's a piece of string? How long do you think this, I'll call it volatility.
Yeah.
How long do you think that can last before it settles down? 5 years, 10 years?
No, this Super
2
Bowl
months?
run, I think, will end on January 22nd, 2022.
Oh, okay. Right. So that's fairly definitive. Why?
Yeah. This current bull run I think we'll have to go a correction starting February 18th, which is why I already told the group to come back to the spaceship on February 17th, right? Of course, Simon and Henry went on earlier.
That's 2021 you're talking about.
Yeah, 2021. Yeah, because see, what I do is I look at cycles. You see, because Bitcoin and all movement of these going in and out of wallets, going to exchanges, so it's like the past will happen, but you don't know the degree of how high or low it will go. It's going to be volatile, but if you see the patterns, it's pretty much the same.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Why February 22? Why?
If you look at it like this, if you look at what this is like, this year, January 2021, it's like January 2017. Now, when did the bull run of 2017 end? Ended in 2018. Oh my God, that's cool. Josiah's birthday is 2022. So Josiah, please tell us when the bull run is over, okay? I might forget.
I've got a funny feeling you won't.
Yeah, or you know, guys, remember this, because I might get carried away. I might say at that time, Jeff, it's different. Remember, okay, crypto.
Famous last words, yes.
Yeah, crypto into our lives is independent of the markets, okay, of the price of cryptos. You have to remember that. We learned that from the NASDAQ. But I think it is definitely starting. It is definitely, yes, Hannah, you are late to the game. This is not the cycle. I've been always saying that I've been selling. And for the guys, but the guys, my boys and girl who is in there, I've always said that. What did I say again on Sunday? I said, you guys can YOLO all you want, but put in tight stops. I've been selling, but I've been putting in also trailing stops, right? And that account, funnily, is increasing, which really like, okay, come on, guys. Can you stop increasing? Because I have many accounts that I want to close off, and that keeps increasing, and I have to look at it, but never mind. I just let the markets take me out now, okay, guys? I'm just letting the market take me out. There will be another cycle.
There always is, no matter what it is. You know, cycles are there. Water, human life, you name it. Cycles, man. I don't know if I've told you this, Shukri. Yeah. I know a guy who studied cycles at university levels, right? He's got degrees in cycles, and he's done 7 degrees in cycles. Can you believe that?
Wow.
And he trades stocks.
You see?
Using that methodology. He came to me, wow, not me personally, but the organization I was with in 2007, maybe something like that. And he wanted to know how to marry cycles with currencies, because he'd been doing it successfully with stocks. And unfortunately, the organization I was with at the time, and I was very early in my career, had no idea. I couldn't say to him, well, here's how you do it. And I tried to contact him a few years back, and he was open to it again, but something happened. I think he had a health issue or something like that. But I wish I could utilize that into currency trading. And I know, look, we've got seasonals that tell us all sorts of things these days, but 7 degrees in cycles really does appeal to me, rather than, you know, the computers that work it out, the reversion to the mean stuff and all that.
Yeah, so you guys have to remember, in a cycle like now is a bull, there's always a winter, but the winters are going to be short. So it's like, when there's a winter, it's not that we don't make money. We don't trade as actively. We set up the trades, and then we reap things as we go into the bull cycle. That's all we do. So, you know, that's why I said the good thing about crypto is, because you guys don't know this, it can be very boring, which is good. You can do other things. But when the time comes to make money, well, that's when you got to focus. But that, I think, is only like 30% of your time maximum. 20 to 30% of your time, it's in a bull. The rest of the time, and Jeff knows this, right? Yeah, let's say 20%. 80% of the time, guys, it's in a bear market or it's in a range. You can't make money.
It's the Pareto principle, right?
Yeah, that is. That is.
80-20.
Yeah, 80-20. Nothing changes. Now it's like real life.
Nothing's new, mate.
Nothing's new. It's
Nothing's
just like
new.
things are different, and maybe that degree of, it goes up higher because it's new, right? It's the in thing now. And that was what people were saying yesterday, that people are getting now into Bitcoin, not because they know Bitcoin, but everybody is getting into Bitcoin, and it's the cool thing. And when you see that someday, just don't be the last, don't be the last fool buying, okay? But yes, I do believe that we will have a correction, and yes, we will have a bear, and then we will have another bull.
No, as I say, nothing's new. Nothing's ever changed. And it won't be any different this time. It's as simple as that.
No,
Mate,
that's right, Beth. This is what you've been saying all your life. A range, a pump, a range, a pump.
It's a roadmap, right?
Yeah, it's a roadmap. It's the same. Nothing changes.
Hey, that Kusama's coming down, mate. Right. Thank you, buddy. Much appreciated as always. I need to know about tattoos and cards and things. Do I just tune in to one of your shows or what?
Yes.
To learn about the cards?
Definitely. Yeah, that's called.
I've got my artists lined up.
So you see how it is now, right? And you mentioned a very good thing, guys, because now you see that a token. I mean, we talk about Moonriver token and Glimmer token, and suddenly you have a card, something else. See? So that's why I say, the hard thing about crypto, and you can ask who've been in my class, is you have to be totally multidimensional about this. Man, guys, in the real world, if you want to get a tattoo, you just go and get a tattoo, okay, wherever your tattoo artist is right. Now you're going to say, hey, wait a minute, I have to think before I get a tattoo. And suddenly you and your girlfriend says, no, you promised your girlfriend you're going to get a lion tattoo and say, no, I want a canary tattoo. It's like, whoa, crypto man.
Unbelievable. I tell you what.
Give her half of the money, okay? Give her half of the money. She'll keep
this is a cycle I've never been on, I've got to tell you. But yeah, it's interesting. Mate, thank you so much. Much appreciated. We will catch you, of course, next Tuesday. And those of you who are into Shukri's methodology, you'll, of course, be back with him at 7:50, mate, tomorrow.
I think 7:50, yeah.
7:50, yeah. And, of course, on Mondays as well. And what's the stuff you're doing on the weekends, buddy? What's the stuff you do on the weekends? Saturday?
I trade a lot. I prepare for. I also see, because now I'm also advising a Dubai company on the investing in young startups in Southeast Asia. Because if you guys want to know, Southeast Asia now, where I live, thank you very much, thank God for that, is probably the best place to be for young companies because we have the youngest population, and we have a lot. They're about 600 million, and they're very, very young. And they're very, very young, and they are into, I don't think they're into crypto yet, but it's easy to onboard these people into cryptos. Very easy.
The really interesting part about that, Shukri, is not so much, well, I suppose it is now. We've had a period prior to, let's say, 2010, where we had absolutely nobody, pretty much across Asia, well, the whole of Asia, China, Southeast Asia, all of Asia, were unable to participate in financial markets. And that has changed.
Right.
And that has changed big time. And it's also changed financial markets, or is changing financial markets big time. So if you take that on board, and I've got no idea how many people that is, but that's a whole chunk of people. We're not talking hundreds or thousands or even millions. We're talking billions of people who are now able to enter the financial markets, who prior to now had absolutely no access to them.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very interesting. And guys, you guys have to be careful of this one country, man, because these guys in this country are super dynamic. Is Vietnam.
Yeah, they don't mind do put a little bit of money on the table, that's for sure.
The only thing for me going against a Vietnamese girl, I don't know, is it cool to ask her to get a tattoo, you know, because like, you know.
Oh my godfathers. I can't imagine. No. All right.
Tattoo.
You have to spend some time thinking about that, I've got to tell you. All right. I'm going to go around the grounds very quickly, and then it's time to Geo. Thanks, mate. Much appreciated. I think I am screen sharing. Yes, I am. And Angel has just reminded me, guys, if you want to be part of the Telegram group that is associated with this broadcast, there is the link on Angel's just posted in the chat. If you would like to do that, look, I've got to admit we've been a little bit slack on that because we've had trading retreats and things like crypto moons and all sorts of things. But generally in that space, we put trade updates and trade management and things that we're thinking about in the markets upcoming. So if you want to, it's still free at the moment. So jump into there. As I said, Angel's put the link. So we look forward to having you in that Telegram group. Righto, just very, very quickly, dollar CAD. We were talking about this earlier, and I did say if it did retrace that I would look to place an order, and I still will do that. Now, you might see an order on my chart already, which is trading long. And let me just point that out to you. This is actually looking very, very close to where I want it to be. I actually want it to be down here to trade it, but I'm happy to go in at the moment. And if it does come down to there without us being triggered, then I'll build that position. If we do trigger and it takes us out, then I'll build that position again with a little bit higher stake, because I think this is the absolute level to get into this. Now, that said, I think I started the show with going to the dollar index chart, and it's completely reliant on this chart, in my humble opinion. We're bang on this level that I spoke about, this confluence area, around about the 90-50 mark. And one or two things here in my mind will point out a direction for us. One will be a bounce off this level that we're currently hitting. The other will be a close below this level. If we get a close below that level and then a retest of that level, then I think we're going short here, which means that the dollar CAD order that I'm just about to place will or should not be triggered. If that's the case, happy days, who cares? It doesn't matter. But if it isn't the case and it bounces off that level that I've just pointed out, then I want to be a part of that, because I love to trade turnarounds or reversals, and this could well be one of them. So what I'm going to do is exactly the same as I pointed out before, except the entry's changed a bit. I'm going to place an entry above this candle. I'm going to put my stop loss below that low. So let's do that. Hang on, I better give you the levels first. Entry will be, let's sneak it above there a bit, 127.37. I'll just write this down so I don't get it wrong. 1.2737. Stop loss 127.13. Now TP1 needs to be fairly conservative. What's that risk? 24 pips. So yeah, I'll be going here. Let's call it 127.47 for TP1. Now, those of you who don't know how I trade, I'll be taking half of the position off, exactly the same as the pound breakout trade, which I think is in desperate straits. It's just hanging on, but not in good territory. Dollar CAD, not pound CAD. So I'll be taking half off at that level, which is very close to the stop loss on the bigger picture. Interesting. So I'll be taking half of the position off at that point, and I'll be moving my stops from where they are to, what was the take profit, 10 pips, to 10 pips below the entry level, making that a free trade straight away. The potential here, of course, is for this to go with momentum and hits that level and goes short. that's what we need to guard against, and that's why we take the conservative position. This is also very close to a slingshot 2, I might add, because the first entry would have been there, and that wouldn't have been a good entry. But the second entry, which is a little bit higher, may well be the one that we're looking for. So that's dollar CAD. Let me see if anything else is set up whilst we've been having a little chat about currency, not currencies, cryptos. Aussie yen is one that we're looking at, right? Has snuck back in here, but has it? Not yet, really. On the hourly charts, it kind of has, kind of hasn't. It's flirting with us. If I draw a trade line through here, it gets a whole lot more interesting, because we've had a break of not only the trade line, but the daily pivot, and we've had a nice strong retest with a bullish decisive bar. The issue I've got here is not whether I can trade that short, because I certainly can. The issue I've got is the level that we're trading it at. So if you enter at the bottom of that bar, it's not so bad, really, because we're clear of this level here. So we'd be risking, I might go above that swing, 20 pips. Our potential reward number 1 would be 35. That's okay. Don't mind that. I think I'd rather wait, though, because we haven't had that confirmed. What I really like to see is price get back into here, then give me a retest. So it hasn't done that. It's flirting with me, as I said. So let's get this clear. Let's get this down to here, then give me a lower high. Then I can look to trade it. Just not quite ready yet. It may go. If it does, it does. SH1T happens. Aussie US dollar, we were waiting for this to come back underneath that, I'll call it a trend line, because it is, but it's certainly also a trade line. It doesn't look like it wants to do that. What's the smaller time frame telling me? Still there, really. I couldn't trade away from this area. And the reason I couldn't trade away from this area is we're above daily resistance number 1. We're also above weekly resistance number 1. That's not that much of a concern to me, but this is the daily and monthly pivot very, very close together. That's kind of like a magnet. So I won't be trading away from that. If I get the opportunity and price gets underneath that trend line and retests it, then I can trade it short. Be careful to take profit before that swing there. So that's where I'm at with Aussie dollar. Dollar yen, were we talking about that today? Pretty pleased about our exit on this. We traded this from down here, trading that bar there, and we got out at 105.53. I think it went a little bit higher than that, but not much. Yeah, another 20 pips. Excellent, excellent exit. Now I'm just waiting again on that dollar index to tell me what happens next. If this were to close underneath here, underneath this trade line, and then retest it, I don't think I'd even think about the dollar index. I would simply trade that short, because that's a very strong indication that this is going back into trend, which of course, as we all know, the current trend, or the trend over the last, 12 months has been short. It's just poked its head above that, which is why we're at that crucial area, as I said, on the dollar index. Aussie dollar, we spoke about. Aussie yen, we've spoken about. Dollar CAD, you know about. Euro dollar is the only one that we haven't mentioned. And it looks like that short that I was hunting ain't going to happen anytime soon. Interesting that we've broken above this longer term trend line, which of course is going back to the beginning of the year. One of two things here to do: wait for the pullback and look long, which I won't be doing because we're above DR2, or again wait for the price to come back under here. It's not likely, but if it happens, then I'd start to get interested. That's about it, guys, to be honest. I haven't got too much more to even look at, but where there was a lot of potential before, maybe that's just snuck away from us a little bit, but not the end of the game. Still got that back in here. We've still got this back underneath the trend line. That's CAD Swiss we haven't spoken about. CAD Swiss is back in the range now. Now we seek a lower high. If we get that lower high on CAD Swiss, this is a pretty clear picture to me. We'll trade that short, we'll take some profit here and then leave it open to the bottom of the range. So plenty of opportunities still, but as always, we need to wait for those setups and we will do exactly that. Guys, thanks so much for your company. I don't think he does sleep, Simon, you're right. It's good to have a few more people in the room that are new to us. Let's hope that you will continue to be in here and got a bit of value out of the show. Thanks for your company, guys. We'll look forward to it again tomorrow when we'll do it. Ainsley in tomorrow, talk about gold and oil, by the way. Looking forward to that. I won't be here. I'm actually going to a meeting about hemp and bamboo, which is interesting. What a combination that is. Have a great day, guys, and we'll see you on the other side of hump day for me. That's tomorrow, not tomorrow, but Thursday. But Ash and Ainsley will be in tomorrow at the very same time. Have a great